why shouldn't we always listen to successful people? During the Second World War, the US military suffered a huge casualty of pilots and loss of aircraft to enemy fires. This became a huge concern for the nation's army. To overcome this, a decision was made to strongly armor the aircrafts going into the battlefield. However, it was realized that armoring the aircraft would in turn increase the weight of the aircraft and therefore reduce the efficiency. A group of researchers decided to observe the damage done to the planes that returned from the conflict and observed the areas which were most hit by bullets. They then mapped out all the bullet holes found on the body of the aircraft and realized that the wings and the tails were most prone to enemy fires. They concluded that instead of armoring the entire plane, only the wings and the tails should be armored. This seemed like a reasonable approach and would even save them from the unnecessary increase in weight of the aircraft. However, when a mathematician named Abraham Wald heard of this, he called the whole idea dumb and stupid. He stepped in and advised not to armor the wings and tails but armor the rest of the plane instead. Wald's insight is what we now call survivorship bias. He explained that the observations were made only considering the planes that returned and not the planes that never returned from the conflict. So, armoring the aircraft in places where it can survive the bullets doesn't make sense. Instead, it should be armored in places where the non-returning planes were most likely hit. The same mistake is repeated when we make our life decisions. We often concentrate on the visible examples and overlook those which are unavailable. This habit often leads to false conclusions and creates optimism because we miss out on observing the failures. This is what we call survivorship bias. Survivorship bias is a statistical error wherein the available data is not generic but self-selected toward the survivor, that is, those who failed to survive are not represented in the sample. Therefore, every conclusion that we reach is biased towards the survivor. To understand this better, let's look at some examples wherein most of our conclusions are biased towards the survivor. 1. Success stories. Often headlines such as the 6 characteristics all billionaires have in common, or the morning habits of successful people immediately catch our attention. We believe that if we repeat the same rituals, we will eventually achieve similar success in our lives, when in reality there would be countless examples of people who have had the same habit and routine, follow the same strategy, and yet could not succeed. 2. College dropout. A quick Google search will show you billionaires who dropped out of college to build their companies. Looking at their journey makes us wonder if dropping out of college to pursue one's passion is, after all, a wise decision. This is because we never find stories of those who did the same but achieved little success. 3. Gym advertisement. A gym will always try its best to persuade you into buying their membership by only showing you a handful of examples of people who now have a perfectly toned body. On the other hand, there are more examples of people who either gave up midway or did not experience a significant improvement in their physique. 4. Your photogenic friend. Ever visit the social media profile of a friend who has all perfect pictures? No matter what pose they are in, all their clicks look amazing. Well, remind yourself that you are only looking at incomplete data. You never know how many pictures they had to click, edit and filter before uploading the one they find the most suitable. So, while it is no doubt good to learn from the success stories of great men and women, one must not forget that the journey we are looking at is one among millions. They are what we'd call the survivors. Failure stories do not get highlighted, and no one likes reading them either. Missing out on a significant portion of the data could lead to imprecise judgments and probably will lead to another failure story that will never be told. Thanks for watching.